He continues today to have it, and had it before we was ever born, and has it all the way through our life. And we've allowed things and situations in our life. These problems have purpose behind them, people. Bad things happen to good people so God can speak to you. And He can show you the depths of love that He has for you. That you can really understand that the pain and agony that He truly had for you. I died for my friends is what we read to you this morning. What greater love does a man have than to die for his friends? And you are my friends. And He suffered and went through these things for you and I with that great depth of intimacy. Why? Because He wanted that relationship back that He had 4,000 years before with Adam and Eve, walking in the cool of the evening with them, talking and walking with them and saying, how's your day been? How's it going? And they could talk to Him and say, how's it in heaven today, Lord? How's things going up there in the universe? Is the stars doing good over here and over there? He wants us to have that kind of intimacy with Him. Like a marriage should be as one. That you could come in the evening after a hard day's work and sit down with Christ and say, Lord, how's things going on in the world, by the way, today? I want to talk to you and walk with you. I want to have an intimacy with you. I want to have a relationship with you because you love me more than my spouse ever could love me. You love me more than I can love my children. And all you ask in return is I have a relationship with you. That's all you ask. But how is his heart today? Ours is being ripped out from losing loved ones. Ours is being ripped out from marriage problems. But you think it's got any comparison to a man who died for you? You think it's got any comparison? You look at the worst times in your life and hard situations you went through. But does it have any comparison to a man that's willing to do what he did right there that we read to you at the very beginning? That he was willing to do it? Or are we going to be like Peter and say, no, Lord, that ain't going to happen? You know what I got to say to you? Get behind me, Satan. You savors the things of man more than the things of God. Thank you for the water. Do you see some of the things that the Lord began to show me? And I know some of you have been hurt deep. Loss of loved ones is hard. Some of you have lost parents or whatever. Some may have lost children. I don't know what in your life. Some of you have had some deep marital problems. I mean deep. And it's hurt to where your chest has been tore out of your heart. And some of you have been in positions where you didn't want to get up the next day because you've been in such pain and such agony. But a man that loves you so much that would die for you and suffer for you so that you could have life. How do you think He feels about us today? How's our marriage relationship with Him? How are we really as a bride to Him? Are we really having the relationship that we're supposed to have with Him? Because all through there, Jesus told the Hebrew children, I had it, and it's in Deuteronomy, I'm a jealous God. I want my love. I want my respect. I want my love. I deserve it and I want it. He said that's what he repeated many times. I'm a jealous God. And I love this world enough that I sent Him. And I stood back and let this happen. And I had the power, all I had to say, world be gone, and the whole world would have disappeared. I had that kind of power, people. But I loved you all enough to not let that happen. I loved enough to sit back and let all these things take place. I loved enough to let my own son go through this. Do we love our brothers and sisters enough to let our own child that we have in our own family go through this if we knew it was going to set the people free? Do we really have enough love for the people of this world or the people of this church that we would let our own child go through that if we had the powers that he had? Or would we pull back like a lot is today? God is doing what He's doing. He's sifting. He's moving people out of the way that's not going to step up. I begged, I pleaded, like I've said many times, I'd give anything to open people's heads up and pour in and say, I'm not lying to you. I've not lied to you. I want to pour the truth into you, and I want you to see that God is going to do what He says He's going to do. But He is wanting to build a relationship with you. I mean a deep, intimate relationship with you. One that you could trust every morning when you get up, that you could just, hey God, how's things went last night over on the other side of the world, over in China and places, and how's things over here? You know, have that intimate, cool of the evening walk that Adam and Eve had hand in hand with God as they walked through the Garden of Eden. Are you having that kind of relationship with Him? Like we're supposed to be as husband and wife, as one? Because I'll take you to the Scriptures, and I'm going to take you there tonight to once again prove to you that it's the same key to a marriage being one is the same key to us becoming one with Christ. It is the exact same key. And this came from a man that wasn't even married. Paul wrote this. With the knowledge of the Holy Spirit, he wrote this. He wrote these things and He gave them to us, and so that we may know and we may be able to understand and we may be able to defeat it and overcome. But have you ever really sat down and fathomed your worst pains, your worst agonies that's pulled your heart plumb out of your chest and thought about God's love for you and how much greater it is and how probably His heart is pulled out of His chest about us? If our heart's pulled out of our chest over loss of one loved one or over some situation, how much greater pain do you think He suffers? One that loves you more than we could ever love anybody. Loves you more than these things. Loves you more than all of these things. 1 Corinthians 10:22. Paul said this, do we provoke the Lord to jealousy? Are we stronger than He? I want you to just think about that. Do we provoke Him to jealousy? Is He in the state that He's wanting your love so bad? That He's desiring you so bad that we're like the Hebrew children? It drew Him to anger with them. We're under mercy, thank God, today. Because I wonder many times we'd still be here. If a lot of us wouldn't be sucked up in the ground over some of the things that we've done in the past. Some of the things that we've done. I'm going guilty right now. Some of the things that's happened. But are we drawing God to jealousy? Because we won't become intimate with Him? Are we? Are we really making Him in a jealousy state? Have you ever been jealous of your spouse? And I think a lot of people in here, you probably have, because the enemy will use that against you. He'll use that against you to destroy you. But now you take that and you multiply that by somebody that loves you more than you can love your spouse. Now, how much jealousy is that? How much love really is that? How much jealousy can God really, how far can we take in Him? When He's begging for our intimacy, begging for our relationship, begging for these things. And I think about that doctor that my wife was talking about. Yes, I know his heart's tore out of his chest. But what about God? With you and me. If we're not having a true, intimate relationship with Him. What about it? Things that's crushed us, things that's destroyed us, and things that's brought us down into everything. God so loved the world, is what it said, that He gave in everything that we do. Are we drawing Him to jealousy? Are we drawing Him to these things? Is it our fault on all these things? Bad things happen to good people. They do. But they have meaning. They do. I lost my mother. I've had some other things happen in my life that ripped my heart out of my chest. But when Lisa began to talk about that, I don't know why, but the Lord began to reveal it to me as I was driving home. You know how bad you felt. Now think about me. And I love you more than you could ever love your mom or any other situation that's ripped your heart out of your chest. Now think about me. One who loved you enough to die for you. One who loved you enough to come into this world. It's so sinful world. I didn't have to leave paradise. I did not have to. It was my choice. I did not have to come into this world. I did not have to do these things. I'd done it willingly. So that I could we all